Hello, and welcome to episode 56 of the Yarnivore podcast. I am Sadie. I am your host. Also known as Blue Rune on Ravelry, Sadie Rune on Twitter and Instagram, Sadie Rune on Litzy, Goodreads, Library Thing. Anywhere you can think of, I'm probably Sadie Rune, unless I'm Blue Rune because I got there first, which was Ravelry. Today, I have a huge FO, but I can't show you because it has already been packed off and shipped overseas. It is the leaf wreath shawl, which I will throw in pictures of here. So, yeah. Big shawl, lots of beads, close to 1,000, and which you crochet hook on. Well written pattern, great pattern. If you like doing lace and you like beading, it's a great pattern. It is very easy and comprehensive to follow. It's only charted, so it's not written, and there are G number of charts with several different ways you can bind off. I chose to do the knitted stretchy bind off to get the points I wanted. I was going to do the crochet chain, but I couldn't get it to look the way I wanted, and I found it puckered a little bit because I am not the greatest crocheter, nor do I have the appropriate crochet hook. So I made do with what I felt would work. I wanted the sharp points at the end. I got them. Yeah. That is awesome. It is going off into the wild blue yonder, and now I can breathe a little easier because that takes one more thing that had to get finished off of my proverbial plate. Actually, this weekend I managed, or not this weekend, but this week/end, I managed to get 2 things done, so now I just need to have my sewing machine repaired so I can finish that quilt. Then I can start serging things. Second cup of coffee. Everybody needs a second cup of coffee. We are a day late here. I do apologize for that. Life. So moving on to the whips, let's jump right in. There is a knit along I am doing in conjunction with the Knitting at Tiffany's podcast, run by Tiffany and Aaron, of course. And the podcast, the knit along, which I'm using the hashtag KAT Yarnivore Stripe Cal, KAT Yarnivore Stripe KAL, is basically knit stripy socks for 2 months. Any stripy socks. Now I have more rules than they do, because for me it has to be an adult sock with a cuff at least 3 inches long. That's from cast on to the start of the heel flap, because shorty socks are just no. That's kind of cheating comparatively. And of course no children's socks. Now if you do like I do, if you use Desert Vista, Fiber Nymph Dye Works, Jinx Yarn, Knitter's Nightmare, if you use any of those, you get 2 entries. You can post twice. In my group, what you can do is post the original picture of your finished pair. In the FO thread, there's a chatter thread where you can chat and talk and ask questions, and then there's the FO thread, which is purely for pictures of finished objects so that I can keep it separated for the purposes of prizes. So when you post in the FO thread, if you say have a Desert Vista Dye Works, like I'm knitting right now, you would post the first picture of the socks. You can either double post the picture, you can post a picture of your pets, you can post a picture of whatever, but say this is my second entry for the previous sock because it's one of the double entry dyers. I started these, and I'm double dipping, which you can do too. There's the 3rd annual Desert Vista Dye Works sock I believe it's a stripy sock only knit along. Susan can correct me. I suppose I could message Susan and ask if it's just stripy socks. I'm pretty sure it's just stripy socks. She does dye non-stripes, which is why I'm blanking out right now. But we'll just say for the time being, there's probably just stripy socks. I have my first sock done. I'll hold it back here so you can actually see the colors, the gorgeousness. This is the Breakfast Club colorway. There's my afterthought heel. I have approximately 7 inches of a cuff before I put my heel in. And of course, I'm doing these for my 9.5 feet because the Breakfast Club socks are mine. So I have these on the needles because I want to do the 12 pairs in 12 months because I want the free exclusive and because I like to torture myself. And apparently this is one of those things I want to jump into. Plus, I have enough Susan in my stash that I could probably get through the first 6 months unhindered. So here's my second sock. I'm hoping to finish these this weekend because, quite frankly, I think I only have another repeat of colors and then I'm at the toe. Then heels, which take about 30 minutes a heel, and then I'm done. So these will get done. I do have a pair of Knitter's Nightmare stripes that are going to be going on the needles for my husband, which I will tell you about closer to the end here when I'm talking about the shop update. So there's those. So again, you can double dip if you're doing the Desert Vista. You can do whatever you want. Now the other thing I'm doing is in my She Is So Whimsical bag. These bags are huge and massive, and I know she just had an update, so feel free to saunter over there and get yourself a bag because they're reversible and they're durable and they're big, and I like that because this is going to be a massive project. When my mom was here, I don't know if I showed these. I've actually got a pile of stuff to show you that I forgot to show you last week. When my mom was here visiting, she bought me 2 skeins of this while we were at the Pacific Fabric store because they also have yarn. Ella Ray Seasons. It's, as you can see, a gradient. It's a chain ply super bulky, and it looked really super squishy and wonderful, and so I started myself a brioche stitch infinity cowl, which I originally saw on the Charm of It knitting podcast with Eva, and I figured I want to make one of those. It's a free pattern, and it's just a brioche stitch infinity. Well, basically you knit a long tube and then you seam it together. I'm going to flip it so it's got a Mobius ness to it, which I think makes it the infinity if you flip it. I don't know if it's just a regular cowl if you don't and you seam it. I'm using 7mm needles, which is not actually what's called for, but I wanted it to be big and open and fluffy because it's been a little chilly here. And by a little chilly, I mean -4°C, which is pathetic and laughable. But guess what? If you don't have central heating, yes, it is kind of chilly. We're back home, they're having -50°C, and skin is freezing, and they have skin freezing warnings. I'm over here, I'm a wimp, that's what I am. But it's gorgeous, and I started the second ball somewhere, where? Right here. I started the second ball in this color repeat, so I'm going to knit until I'm done, and then I'm going to seam them together, and it is going to be massive and lovely. And it is going to match my hair-ish. Although my hair is fading, so it's turning green. I'm okay with that, though. I can do green. I'm going to do green for a while. So there's that. Those are the 2 works in progress that I've worked on just because I was really focused on getting that shawl done. Like, I can't even express to you how focused I was. It was kind of nuts, but it's done. And as you see, it's worth all of the effort. So I got that off. Now there is a Use Your Books cowl we're having with the Passionate Spinner podcast, which I intend to go back to. I've been knitting the Beacon Hill from Cascadia, which is a book which I do own in ebook format. And I've been thinking of going back and doing that one. I've also been going through the Q not the queue. I've been going through patterns and specifying things that are in my library, and I've been noticing some books I didn't add to my library, so I've been adding those. So I can just search within my books and magazines and pamphlets, etc., to see what I actually have and what I actually want to knit from them. So I will be starting to jump more into that soon, now that that shawl's off the needles. I can't express how the relief I feel at having this done. So there are those two things. There was a shop update, and I'm just going to show you some of the things that are still in the shop. If the shop update and haul or stash isn't your thing, then this is probably where you're going to want to check out, and I will see you next week. If this, however, is something you like to watch, then let's keep going. We have returning for the anniversary of David Bowie's death, the Starman colorway. There we go. I wonder if I turn off this light if it'll be better. It's going to get darker in here. But let's see. Yeah, that's much better. It's turquoise with red, and it is heavily speckled with purples and other random colors. Very David Bowie. We have reappearing old leaves, which is browns, coppers, reds, etc. We have Enchanté, which I rescanned because I wanted to see how it looked rescanned, and it does look really cool rescanned too. I do appreciate the rescanning on that. Then we have, this one's a new one, and it was inspired by the anniversary of David Bowie's death, and it is called Dangers Untold. I'm going to do a companion one to it called Hardships Unnumbered, so if you catch that, that's a Labyrinth reference. And this is gorgeous shades of purples, and there's some blue in here too. And lastly, but not leastly, there are a couple stragglers of a stripy yarn that I did. And let's see. There we go. It is a 6 stripe. It's called the Original 3. There are 2 colors to represent each Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charizard. And it's pretty awesome. So when I said I had a pair of my stripes to cast on for my husband, I kept a set of this for him because he has been he is the Pokemon king in the household, so he needs a pair. So I will be casting those on as soon as I finish my Desert Vista dye works. And so those are all in the shop. I do have to make a little note that there has been a slight price increase in pretty much everything across the board because of life. Well, not life, but the cost of stuff goes up. That's how it goes. It's hand-dyed yarn. Everybody's got to make a living somehow. So, going into, let's just move these out of the way, shall we? Shall we? This is for a different podcast. Let me just move that over there. I'm going to put these up over here. I tidy up this area and it still gets messy. So a couple things I forgot to show last time was, as I said, Mom was down here, and when she was down she picked me up a few things, which were 2 skeins of the Ella Ray seasons, this skein of Regia Floromania, because that's just craziness, and this pattern is by Monetta, or it's called Monetta, and it's by Colette. And it's got 3 different versions. There you go. And I really want to make it. It's a gorgeous dress. So, and it goes up to my size. It actually goes up to a 26, which is a 3X. So, yay! I'm excited about that, actually, once my sewing machine is back up and running. Now, a good friend of mine sent me some Christmas gifts, and amongst them was this gorgeous Heavenly Wools in the Plimsoll line with a dark gray base. And it is so soft. And it is 100 grams of yummy. I will put it there. It actually went where I put it. That never happens. And this gorgeous bag, which I need to use now that I've shown you. This gorgeous bag. Look at these skulls. How awesome are these skulls? Are you seeing the skulls? I haven't seen this fabric before, so I'm really into that. And this is by In Stitches. It's a handmade yarn pod. Boop. And In Stitches is from New Zealand. New Zealand. Which is, of course, where all wonderful things come from. And then some more niche. Niche? In the Notar Bartolo colorway, which is actually purple but is coming out blue and just makes me want to squee. I think these need to be Cookie A socks. Like, they require something like that. There we go. That bluish purple going on here. Like that. These want to be Cookie A socks, they think. They're not sure. They've been talking, but their language is a little blurry. We will get there, though, and I love this bag. Love this bag. And if I were to knit a Cookie A out of her book, which I have both of them. I have a hard copy of Sock Innovation, and I have an e-copy of Knit Sock Love. I could get away with that. And then part of my Christmas present that I ordered came, and this is all Tracy's fault. Tracy, your fault. I got this. They're both the 100% Superwash Merino single ply fingering weight. This is the colorway Magpie, which of course, Big Black Bird, 100 shades of awesome. And then this is the Naive Watercolor Stranded Dye Works. I met Amy Florence, who does the dyeing, at SSK. She's a gorgeous lady, wonderful. And I really wanted to get my hands on some of her stuff, and Tracy reminded me that her stuff existed, and then I had to go buy it. So there you have it. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I do love the colors. I love the colors. And I just dropped one. And then lastly, but not leastly, because you can never have too much, I got two skeins of Knit Picks Felici in the Pinata colorway, because I need more. I need more yarn. No, I don't, but I tell myself I do. Particularly stripy yarn. I do not need more stripy yarn, but I do. So I got two of the Felici in the Pinata colorway and two in the dark side. Because, hey, that's what's happening. And I have like 3 pairs of socks that are dying. Like, they're dying. May as well throw them in the trash. They're pretty much dead. Well, one pair has been washed so many times. It's felting, and that will go to my mother, who will wear them in the wintertime because they shrink to her size. But, yeah, I'm going to need more socks. And I have to make some more socks for my husband, so it just makes sense. And that is everything I have for you this episode. But I will see you next week, where hopefully I'm a lot less scatterbrained, and it will actually occur on Friday.